You're not being ignored at work by accident. You're being ignored on purpose. And the worst part, you helped create it. You trained people. You fixed problems. You stayed quiet. You made yourself easy to work with, easy to rely on, easy to forget. And now, someone less capable than you is ahead of you. They speak less than you. They know less than you. They do less than you. But somehow, they're winning. And you're left sitting there, watching, smiling on the outside. But inside, something feels off. You start asking yourself, what am I missing? Because it doesn't feel random anymore. It feels like a pattern. And that's the moment it hits you. Slowly, uncomfortably. You don't understand office politics. And the moment you finally understand it, it's already too late. If you want to understand how power actually works at work, consider subscribing. At the beginning, you believed in something simple. Work hard. Stay consistent. Be a good person. Don't get involved in drama. Don't play games. Just focus on your job, and everything will work out. That belief feels safe because it gives you control. It tells you, if I do the right things, I'll get the right results. But slowly, reality starts breaking that belief. You notice meetings where your ideas are used, but your name is missing. You notice projects where you did most of the work, but someone else presents it. You notice recognition going to people who did less, but spoke more. At first, you ignore it. You tell yourself, it's fine. My time will come. But deep down, you start feeling invisible. Not because you're doing less, but because you're being seen less. And that's when everything starts shifting. Because the workplace is not a merit system. It's a perception system. And perception is not built on truth. It's built on exposure. What people see, what people hear, what people remember. That becomes reality. Your boss is not tracking your effort every day. They don't see your struggles, your late nights, your extra effort. They see moments, small signals. And from those signals, they build a story about you. That story becomes your identity. And your identity controls your growth, not your actual work. The story around your work. Think about that, because it explains everything. If you solve problems quietly, you remove the moment where people notice you. If you fix things before anyone sees the issue, you remove the evidence of your contribution. If you carry the team silently, you erase your own impact. You're doing the right work, but in a way that makes you invisible. And invisibility does not get rewarded. Here's the shift most people never realize. Effort is invisible. Impact is visible. Effort is private. Impact is social. Effort feels important to you. Impact feels important to others. And in a system built on human perception, what others feel matters more than what you do. That's why someone who speaks confidently gets more recognition than someone who works silently. That's why someone who presents results gets more credit than someone who created them. It's not fair, but it's consistent. And once you see it, you can't ignore it anymore. Now think about your behavior. You became the reliable one. You say yes, even when you're overloaded. You fix problems, even when they're not yours. You take responsibility, even when no one asked you to. You make everything easier for everyone. And it feels right. It feels like you're doing your job well. But here's what actually happens. People start depending on you, not promoting you. Because in their mind, you're already in the perfect position. You handle things. You don't create friction. You don't demand attention. So why would they move you? You're too valuable. Where you are. Useful. Stable. Replaceable. And that realization hurts. Because it feels like you did everything right and still lost. But this is where the real understanding begins. Work doesn't create power. Conversations do. Influence is not built in tasks. It's built in moments. Meetings, side conversations, quick discussions. That's where decisions are shaped. That's where people decide who gets opportunities, who gets promoted, who gets trusted. If your name is not in those conversations, you are not part of the outcome, even if you did the work. That's the gap. You focused on execution, while others focused on positioning. And positioning always wins. The people who grow fast understand this early. They don't just work, they communicate. They don't just complete tasks, they highlight results. They don't wait for recognition, they create it. They make sure their presence is felt. And slowly, they become impossible to ignore. You didn't do that. You waited. You trusted the system. You believed, if I keep doing good work, it will show. But effort doesn't show. It disappears. Unless you bring it into the light. Recognition is not given. It's triggered. Through visibility. Through repetition. Through presence. If you don't show your work, frame your results, make your impact clear, your brain feels satisfied, but their brain forgets you existed. And then one day, everything becomes clear. You're sitting in a meeting, watching someone else take a role you wanted, and suddenly, all the patterns connect. All the moments you stayed quiet, all the times you avoided visibility, all the times you chose comfort, they add up. And now, you understand. You understand the game. You understand the rules. You understand what actually matters. But there's a cost. You understood it late. And that's what hurts the most. Not failure, but timing. Because most people don't lose because they're bad. They lose because they realize too late. And now, you see everything differently. You don't just work. You observe. You don't just focus on effort. You focus on perception. You don't just complete tasks. You think about positioning. That shift changes everything. But only if you act on it. If you keep doing the same things, nothing changes. But if you change how you show up, everything changes. If you